Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Go Get Her podcast. I am your host, London Britt. As you can see, we have my beautiful sister here again with us on the pod, Cece. Cierra Heflin is her name, but I call her Cece. And yes, we are going to get an update. We spoke to you a couple of months ago. We spoke to you in November. So we're going to get an update on your journey, how things have been going, what's been working, what's not been working. Just fill us in, fill the girls in. But anyways, for those who are new, before we start, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Those who are new and did not see the episode in November, share a little bit about yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, all those good things.
November, we kind of just caught up on life, kind of was just dropping gems. I think the biggest thing was that I had just recently moved. I had relocated for the first time on my own in November, August, September, October, November. So at November, I had only been 3 months in. So now we're going to do a quick little recap to see how life has been, because on the 28th of this month, that will be 1 whole year that I've been relocated. So, as London stated, I'm her little sister. And so transition is not a new thing. We moved from New York to Virginia. Now I'm moving from Virginia to South Carolina. So it's really just been an interesting journey so far. I have a birthday. Shout out to all the Virgos. I have a birthday coming up. So not only are we talking about life and just moving, we're talking about entering a new chapter as well. So I'm really excited to be here today.
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. August. It's so many birthdays in August, so much in August. But yes,
yeah,
August
but it's nothing
23rd.
like the 23rd. Yeah.
It's nothing like it.
Right.
It's really nothing like it. You're growing up too fast for me. But anyways, we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to get emotional because I'm a thug. I'm a thug, y'all. But anyways, let's get into it. So, what has it been like being on your own? Like, what's new? What has changed since November? What do you feel like, in what areas you have grown, and what areas do you feel like you're still growing through? Like, give it to us. Give us the tea. Spill the tea.
So I'm currently 23. I'm turning 24, and I feel like 24 is essentially just the rebrand, right? So when I came here in November, I was kind of just feeling things out. Let me see what this new city is like. Oh, and another disclaimer: when I moved here, I never came to visit. I didn't come see my apartment. I didn't come see what the city was like. We kind of did a safe move and moved, right? So in November, I'm just getting acclimated. I want to see what the people are like here. What is the city like? What are the surroundings like? What is the job like? So I think in November we were kind of just still tiptoeing around. And so now I can truly say that I have transitioned. Like before, I think we were in the process, and so now I feel like, I would definitely just say fully transition. I think my perspectives on a lot of things has changed. I think just my self-growth journey has taken off in a different way, with me being away from what I know to be home and being away from loved ones and trying to figure out life in that capacity, because it's different when you have mom or dad or sister or brother right there. Let me go upstairs and talk to you real quick, versus I have to schedule a FaceTime call when somebody gets off work and their schedule and my schedule and things like that. So I would definitely say like a full transition. What was the other part of your question? You was like, what's new?
What do you feel like you have grown from, or what do you feel like you're still growing through?
Growing through, I think what I'm definitely growing through now at this stage in my life is it's harder to build friends as an adult, right? And so as an adult, your values, I'm only 23, so the things that I value in friendships are changing, the things that I value in relationship are changing. And so I think going out there and trying to make friends while also adjusting to the change for myself is one of the biggest things that I'm growing through, right? Because at home, I have my core group of friends, but everybody has life going on. I live now 8 hours away. Show up in every capacity possible while also trying to create that foundation here. I think that's I would have to say the biggest thing that I'm growing through, and understanding that like it's harder to build relationships as an adult. In college, everybody's right there in college. What time do you go let me go to the CAF with you? I'm on this team. I'm part of this organization to connect. But here, or anywhere, I think essentially when you pack up and move, you're getting immersed into a culture that you have no idea nothing about. And so I think that has been the biggest thing that I'm growing through, while still learning who I am and not trying to become a part of somebody else's culture, but also just learning things that I value and the things that I want out of friendships and relationships and things of that nature, and just trying to maneuver through that. I think is the biggest thing that I'm growing through right now.
And I think you hit that really like head on the nail, because Excuse me, y'all. I'm not sure what's happening. Actually, I do know what's happening because this was not happening before we even started recording. I was talking fine. The enemy be trying to silence me, like seriously, because this was not happening. But anyway, we're gonna push through it. But I also think what you said to piggyback on is like your values. Like you're learning, like, okay, I no longer value this, but I value this. Like finding people that are like minded and who value the same thing as you is so hard as an adult. Like, okay, for example, right? If you had a homegirl, you and her, that was your lit homegirl. You and her was always partying, y'all lit, taking shots, all of that, right? Y'all value was we looking good so we can go get guys at the club. Or like, you know, like it was different type of values. Now say for example you're in a relationship, so you're not going to the club to look for a guy or look cute, you're looking cute for yourself. Like it's just like your mindset has changed and your homegirl is still stuck in that, and it's kind of hard to like, I don't know how to word it, not try to like tell her like, girl, okay, been there done that, we off that, but it's like how can you pull somebody else out of something that you're no longer interested in, you know? Yeah, so it's like sometimes because like nothing has happened between you guys. There's no beef between you guys. It's just now your values have changed. Now your values are different, and you no longer are interested in the same things. So that's also a thing too. Like it's like okay, like I don't know, are we drifting apart because we're into different things now? You know, like that's a thing too. So I've experienced that as well.
Yeah, just to put a pin in the part where you was like, how do you kind of maneuver her along, or whatever the case may be, how do you kind of like
Mhm.
maneuver with that person? And I would say like it's not your job to maneuver anybody along. Like I think that was one of my
Mhm.
biggest misconceptions when I moved here. It's like, okay, I'm shifting, I'm evolving, y'all need to come on and evolve with me or y'all gonna get left in the
Mhm.
kitchen. And it's like I don't think, I'm learning that both can be true. You can be
Mhm.
evolving and growing and things of that nature, while this person may not seem to be growing or changing, but it's not our job to go in their life and change it, right? And so I think we have to understand what friends are good for what things. And it's nothing wrong
Mhm.
with having the friend that's just the turn up friend. And then there's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with having the friend that maybe they just want to go to the gym and that's it. They don't want to do anything
Mhm.
else, you know? So I think it's very important to understand that like everybody has a role to play in your life, and you can't put people in positions that they aren't prepared for.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is really, really true. That's good. I really like that. You can't put people in positions they are not prepared for. Come on now. Come on. So what would you say are some bad habits that you have outgrown, and what are some new healthy habits that you have taken on?
Okay. So I would say the biggest, I don't want to break it down into this. I think the biggest habit I had was overthinking and being a perfectionist. I have a problem with, I was struggling with, let me change my vocabulary. I was struggling with, okay, I got this, so how do I get the next thing? And how do I get the next thing?
Mhm.
And how do I get the
Mhm.
next thing? And while you're in that moment, and you can forget all the things that you're living in an answered prayer. And so you're not able to even understand how you can get to the next thing because you're not even soaking up how you got here. And so I think
Right.
me coming here, the biggest thing that I realized, it's okay to put a pause. And not to put a
Mhm.
pause to stop the process or to stop thinking
Right.
about those things, but to take a pause and as they say, smell the roses. Take a pause to understand that like, you're living in an answered prayer. So I think overthinking and also that idea of like striving for what is known, and then even that is changing. What is known to be, you've made it, and my
Mhm.
perspective on what that even looks like. So I think the biggest thing that I would say is like I'm overcoming that perfectionist idea. Like everything doesn't have to go this way at this time in order for it to be good. No, it's good right here, right now.
Right.
It's good enough. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm learning right now. I was such a routine driven person. I know in the first pod episode, you would hear me talk about my routine and how I need the routine.
Yeah.
My mind is just gonna get loose. And it was a real thing. But now I'm
Mhm.
learning that like life is gonna happen. And you're not gonna be able to do the same thing on this day at this time. And when those things occur,
Yep.
you can't always go into a spiral because life still has to go on. So I think both can be true again, where you can have the routine, have the plan for the future, have these things in place, but also give yourself the grace to say, no, right here is good. Maybe today I
Yeah.
wasn't able to go to the gym, but I walked up the stairs and didn't take the elevator, and that's good for today. You're not going to be able to do everything, and that's okay. So I think that's the biggest thing that I'm learning and overcoming.
I love that. And what are some things that you have like achieved thus far? Or what are some wins that you want to share with us? that you're like really proud of and you took the time to pause and smell the roses?
I would definitely say, okay, so I'm very big for my birthday. Okay, I want to do it the biggest way possible every time. And this year, for the first time ever in my little 23 years of life, I realized I don't want to do anything. Everybody was like, when are you gonna start planning your birthday? When are you gonna start planning? Where's the booking links and this, that? And I'm realizing like I don't want to do anything. Like 23 was so big, and not in the sense of like I did the biggest. I did a photo shoot for my birthday, very personal, very self-love driven, but even me picking up and moving 2 weeks after turning 23 and having to figure this out, 23 was like, oh wow, I've arrived. This is who I am. You know what I mean? And I'm creating the concrete for the woman I would like to become. And so I would definitely say one thing that I am very, very proud of is my healing journey. I was in therapy for 2 years, very consistent, queen. Once, sometimes twice a week if it was too hectic.
Yeah.
And so now I'm at a point where I call my therapist when life is getting hard. I don't really have to talk to her twice a week. And so I just think I'm seeing the fruits of that. So like when you're in therapy, it's one thing to talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's do this. But it's another thing when life happens and you have to actually apply it. And so the biggest thing that I'm proud of is my growth, because I can actually see it now. To say I was in therapy, that was very aesthetically pleasing and it was very good. And I'm talking to her week in and week out and we're talking through the things. But now I'm in a place where it's not necessarily problems happening. Now it's time for the application. Now it's time for you to use effective communication. Now it's time for you to change your language, change your vocabulary and things like that. Change your perspective. Like it sounded good when it was like, here's the problems that I'm having. What should I do? And now next time you have to apply it, because when you know better, you have to do better. And so I think the biggest thing that I'm proud of is actually not only having the tools in my tool belt, but learning how to apply them in every aspect of my life. I work with children, so using those tools to even approach them differently and approach conversations with them differently has been very helpful. And it's just across the board, like I'm really just proud of my individual growth, because it's not something that I can't print out a certificate and show you like, okay, this is how much you've grown, but it's something that I'm very proud of. And I feel like I'm really setting the foundation for the woman I'm going to become, because if I'm doing all this at only 23, okay, by the time I get, I just know I'm so proud of I'm proud of the steps I've taken to become who I am today. I'm super excited to see who I'm going to become.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I see your growth. You've grown tremendously, communication, just like how you show up, like you definitely have grown so much. And no, there's no certificate, but your village sees it. Your people see it. The people who matter see it. And you know who else sees it? Who's most important? God. He sees it. He might have something right on his wall like, oh yeah, I knew my daughter was going to get it together. Like, so yeah, there's no certificate, but we see it and you see it. That's what's most important as well, and I'm just proud of you I'm proud of you and I want you to keep going. Like, healing has no end journey. Healing is no like, all right, like I'm good. This is it. I don't need you, therapist. Bye, Susan. Like, no, like healing has no end journey. It's always room for improvement, number one. And it's always a whirlwind. Life always throws something at you. So I'm proud of you, like truly, truly proud of you. And I'm always giving you your flowers no matter what. And I try to always give you your flowers, not even on a platform, but just like texting you and calling you and just telling you that, I am really proud of you. And I think your healing journey is one of your biggest wins for sure. Like even with us, when we have conversations about like our childhood and how we were brought up and like, giving our parents grace for certain things that we experience, like those conversations have shifted from when we've had those years ago. It's shifted in a positive way. We have more grace. We forgive them for certain things, and that's because we're both healing and we're both learning that, listen, they did the best that they could. They weren't perfect, but you can only have grace for others when you have grace for yourself. So I think we're both doing really, really good with that. So I know you're a workout girly. Tell us about that. Like, tell us how you stay consistent with that, because that is something that, not that I struggle with, but because I have so much going on in my life, I don't know where I can fit that in. Now, of course, you're not a mom, so you don't have that on your plate. But just tell us how you like stay consistent with that, because the body is bodying. Like, you look amazing when you be sending your pictures. I'll be like, look at my sister. Like, you're healing from the inside out, literally, and your beauty like is just exuding out of you. So I just want to applaud you for that, because you have been consistent with that, and it shows. Like, seriously, it shows. You look really, really good. Yeah, I can't see her now, but maybe I'll put a picture on the thumbnail so I can really see. But no, tell us like what keeps you like waking up like ready to work out, ready to like, and you're eating good too. It's not just working out. Like, you eat good, you make sure you don't eat a whole bunch of junk. Like, tell us how you stay consistent with that.
So as of recently, my consistency has looked very different than has it had how it has in the past. I think. Well, I think let's erase the narrative of I wake up every day ready to go. I think that is where people go wrong. They feel like they get up every day and they're just looking forward to that stairmaster. They're just looking forward to that, and that's not the case, Queen. I think what's is that when the motivation and when those days come where it's like, that's where the discipline kicks in. And I think that the journey, I think as we heal, as we have a healing journey and we give ourselves the grace to say like, okay, our healing journey doesn't have a destination. Like, there isn't a once we get here, we've made it type of situation, right? And so I look at fitness the same way, as to where like, it's not a, well, once I get this number on the scale, then I'm good, I can just stop. No, I think it's more of a discipline thing, as to where like, okay, this is a part of my, this is what I do. You know, this is what I do. It's not for the aesthetic. It's not for this. It's not for that. This is a part of who I am. And so I think the fitness aspect, how do I stay consistent, is by giving myself the grace and understanding that I'm just a girl. There's going to be times of the month where the body doesn't look like how it did. It might not look like on the 15th how it did on the 1st. And that's completely out of my control. You know what I mean? So I think allowing myself to understand that this is a journey like any other. And so fitness looks different at different stages of my life. When I first got here, I was working out, lifting weights, bulking up, for those who know the terms. And then I got a trainer. So I have a trainer, we're doing more HIIT workouts. And so we're doing HIIT workouts. And so you're losing more body fat, but gaining more muscle. And now the body looks a little bit different. And then now I don't have the trainer. And so now I'm just trying to get back into it, Queen. I'm trying to keep myself in the gym. And so I'm trying to incorporate all the things that I've learned along this journey and create what works for me. But also just knowing showing up is half the battle. Okay, getting up, putting the clothes on, getting in the car, you're at the gym, you're 50%, you made it. Right. Those who are moms or who have other things going on, maybe it's not the gym for you. Maybe it's putting on this workout video real quick for 30 minutes in my living room. Or maybe it's just going for a walk with the kiddos, you know, before it gets too cold. Maybe let's just walk around the corner. And that's enough, you know? And so I feel like the biggest thing that I've taken away is that, like, you have to give yourself grace even in that, because like there are weeks where I'm eating super clean, and then there's other times where I just don't want the salmon and rice, and I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna buy it because I've been consistent for so long that it's okay. And I'm like, that goes back to the things where I'm overcoming, because before it's like, oh, you have to stick to the regimen. You have to do this. And it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You know what I mean? And so I think that is what's making my fitness journey, I don't want to say easier, but I think that's what's helping me shift my perspective on the journey, is to understand that this is truly a journey. And there was one month where I was this weight and another month where I was that weight. And I mean, hey, that's just what happens. But the fact of the matter is that I'm showing up for me. And I think that's the discipline. I don't think it boils down to I wake up ready to just get on that Stairmaster. And I no shade to the Stairmaster, because I love a good Stairmaster workout. But I just feel like it's not every day that I wake up thinking about that. And so I feel like it's the fact that I'm showing up for me. And working with kids and having a job where you service other people all day, all night long, it is important to show up for you. And maybe the gym is the only time I have to do that. Maybe today I don't have time to sit down and write these affirmations or journal. So the only thing I can do is go do that Stairmaster for 30 minutes. And even though it might not feel good, it is good.
Right.
That's the thing that like keeps me moving, keeps me going. If I can go to the gym, maybe I don't have a good workout in me. Maybe I can't lift the heaviest of the weights today. But I do something for me. And I think the fact that I'm able to create a space to show up for myself, and I'm in control of this thing here. You know what I mean? I think that's very important for me. So I think that's what keeps me going, is that I just have to continue to show up for me, because if not me, then who? And you have to show up for yourself first before you show up for anybody else. And also, it's just Another thing, fitness doesn't have to be lifting weights and this, that, and there. It can be whatever
Mm-hmm.
for you, but you get a release of energy from that. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
You go for that walk, it's gonna be some dopamine released in there. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna be like, oh, I did that. I ate that up.
Yeah.
Last week I could only do 20 minutes, but this week I did 25. Okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then slowly work your way up. So I think it's just also like giving yourself something to achieve sometimes when life seems stagnant is very good. So it's just showing up for yourself.
I love that. And you are so right about that, because not even if you work servicing other people, but literally in your home. Like me, I'm a mom. I'm always showing up for the kiddies, always showing up for my partner. Like, and I want to applaud myself because I definitely have learned to put myself first. Because if I'm not good, y'all ain't good.
Right.
Like, I'm a better mom when I'm rested. When I had time to myself, when I had time to decompress. I'm a better mom. I'm a better partner because I had some time to myself. Now, when I'm all over the place, just rushing to do this, rushing to do that, and just like focusing on my to-do list, like, oh, I have to do the laundry, I have to cook, I have to do that. It's like, no, like, be present in the moment with your family, enjoy your kids, enjoy your partner, get some time to yourself. The laundry will get done tomorrow. Like, you know, like also helping me like not overthink and like, no, routine, you know? So I definitely have come a long way. Definitely still learning, of course, and growing through it, because each day is different with kids. No day looks the same. But that is important though, when you're like consistently like servicing others, it's important to focus on taking time for you. So I love that for you, that the gym can be that for you. That's really good. So I don't know about you, but I constantly feel pressure to get it all right, because I feel like everything that I'm doing in life, I've never seen done. Does that make sense to you? Like, do you ever feel that pressure?
9.9% of the time. I feel that pressure.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to describe it as pressure, right? I think I want to describe it as uncertainty, because I think what's uncertain is like you are doing all these things, trying to do different than what you've seen for whatever the reason may be behind it, but you also don't know how it's going to play out. And so you're trying to take every correct step to try to make sure that it plays out however you've imagined, when really you're not in control. And so I think that is the scary part. The pressure is, I just got to get it right. I gotta, how I was in November, I gotta stick to the routine. And it's like, no, queen, maybe you don't. Maybe the routine is stopping you. Maybe the routine is keeping you stagnant. And maybe you should go outside of the routine and see what you can become. And that goes bigger than me and you here on this podcast, whoever may be listening. Like, you have to do what hasn't been done in order to see how big it can get. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I've constantly felt the pressure of like, well, who do I call for this? And and that's your time when you lean on God, because the people that you may call and receive counsel from, who knows what kind of spaces they're going to be coming from with the information. I'm pretty sure they're going to have good intentions, but people can only speak on what they've experienced. And if they haven't experienced it, they can only give you what they have.
But so much,
that's okay. We love them for that. However, there's certain things that are bigger than us even. And so you have to lean on God, and you have to have that prayer time and that quiet time to understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I think I feel that pressure a lot, but I'm learning that like however life plays out, it's going to play out exactly how it's supposed to, whether I get it all done today or I take one thing off the list and move it till tomorrow, you know? And so, the pressure is real. I don't want to, but I think we should change the language. I don't know if we should call it pressure. I don't know what we should call it in this moment, but the feeling that you're expressing, I really do think it's a real thing. And I don't know. You know, I think we're all just young trying to figure it out. And I have this new logic. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like when you hit 20, people say at 18 you're an adult. Cool. But 20, I feel like that's when things start to get a little different for me. And so I look at it right now as if I'm going to be 24 next week. I'm only a 4-year-old adult. Like, I don't know what I'm doing out here in this world. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, this is just the facts. People who are 30, you've only been doing this adult thing 10 years. I mean, you don't have to.
I've only been
understood.
Yeah.
You don't have to understood. You're not a pro at this. This is new.
No.
This is you're new here. You're just maneuvering your way through life. And so I think that just also gives me a perspective to, give myself a little bit of grace. You know what I mean? Like, I've only been doing this adult thing 3 years. And for 3 years, I think I've done a pretty good job.
I think so.
Trust yourself. Like, a lot of times we grow from situations and we handle new situations as we would the old ones. When you have to understand that you're not starting this thing, this new journey, or for me, let's use my movement experience. This wasn't the first time that I picked up and transitioned. And so for somebody else, it could be like, oh, wow, how could you do that? Well, when I was 13, turning 14, I didn't have a choice. Mom and dad said, we're starting over our new life here. And so I had to learn and adjust. And so for me, maybe it wasn't as crazy as the people were making it sound. And I had to understand that you're not doing this. You're doing this, sure, at 23 as you're doing it for the first time. But you've done this before. 14-year-old you did this, and maybe it's not going to look how it looked at 14.
Right, it just looks different.
Circumstances are different, but this is you have to trust yourself to know that you can handle it. You got it, queen, and God will do more you than you could bear. So even if you get there, it's a little rocky. You'll figure it out. So I think the pressure is a real thing to get it right, but what really is right? And that's what I was saying earlier. The idea, like, you've made it. What really does that look like anymore? And so we just gotta live our life the way we want to live it. We must, because it's becoming a thing to where it made it look so different now, and everybody's getting out of college and everybody's doing these things, and they're like, oh, I need a job in my field. And it's like, queen, the field is not even what it's okay. The field is not even what you thought it was gonna be. And so it's just, I don't know. I think if we be more honest more early with everybody, we'll lose that idea of pressure, because it's not pressure. You're living your life, and there are going to be obstacles, and there are going to be a lot of valleys and a lot of hills, but it's all going to work out. And so it's real. I do feel it sometimes, but I just remind myself that you're doing a good job. Because if you stop today, the track record is beautiful. The track So I think you have to give yourself grace. You have to understand that, like, listen, if I stopped it all today, and that's sometimes you have to stop. Today I'm not going to do that. Reflect. Let me really think about, all the things that I've overcome, and not even overcome, all the things that I've achieved. All the days where I thought, oh no, I can't do this anymore. Again, for me, it's moments like that in the gym where I'm like, I couldn't do this. For all the fitness girlies, I'm up to an hour on the Stairmaster Queen. And am I running that whole hour? No. Sometimes I got to take it on level 2, but sometimes I can level 12. And it's all a process to get up to there. So I think when I compare life to the fitness journey, it's all about building the stamina. It's just like kind of riding a bike. You ride the bike, you build your stamina up, and then maybe something happens where you have to take a week off. And in that week, you're like, oh my God, when I get back, I'm going to be struggling. I'm not going to be able to do it. You get on there, you ease your way into it. But by day 3 of that new week, you back. You're back. And so I think we put that pressure on ourselves, because we definitely of ourselves. And it's like, we're just girls. We're just throw the devil. So just a 10-year. Are you a 10 or 11? Not the clock.
11.
Just a 10 or 11. You're just figuring it out. So
yeah, that's so true. And I do put that pressure on myself quite often. It's definitely, I would say for me, that is what I'm growing through. Like, not putting so much pressure on myself with everything, because what does right look like? What does success look like? Like, success to me could be something today, and then next week it's something totally different, like, that's just how life flows. Like, right now I'm literally just like walking on water. Like, I just feel like I'm walking on water. Like, I am just like, obviously, well, I talked about it in the last episode, but I told you guys, I quit my 9 to 5. Like, this has been the most, how can I explain it? Like, on one side, I'm like fearful. The other side, I'm like at peace. Like, but God has been giving me so many signs that everything is going to be perfectly fine. But just like where I've been there for 5 years. Like, so that is like literally jumping out of your comfort zone. Like, okay, woo, I don't know what's on the other side of this, but whatever comes, I know God got me. Like,
flowers for that also, because a lot of people, it's one thing, so people don't understand, like, it's one faith, your faith walk is your faith walk, and when you take life, that's what it's all about. But it's one thing to tiptoe down that mountain, maybe quit your job with another one lined up, but it's another thing to jump clean off. And when you jump clean off, you have nothing but faith in God holding you afloat. And so I just want to give you your flowers for that, because I want you to see the significance in what you did. It's one thing to quit a job knowing that you have another one on Monday. You know what I mean? But it's another thing where you don't know what's going to happen. But you know this right here, I can't keep doing this. And so you should really be proud of yourself for taking that. You have children. You have all these other things that you could have factored in. To where it's like, play it safe. Let me play it safe. He said no, because what's better for me is on the other side of this. What's better for me is on the other side of my uncomfortability. And not only is it going to develop you as a person, develop you as a mom, it's going to develop you as a child of God. Because you know, and like you said, God is going to get you to the other side. How or when, we don't know. But we know he's coming. We know he's coming. So I want to give you your flowers for that.
Thank you. And even if, like, say, for example, I had a job I'm starting on Monday, that is not guaranteed. Like, they can change their mind. Hey, Miss Heflin, I'm sorry, but, you know, we decided to go with another candidate, or the company's shutting down. Like, anything can happen. Like, you know, like, that is not, nothing is guaranteed to us. So I feel like for anybody listening, like, just stepping out on faith and really, really trusting, like, God, I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know where this is going to take me, but I'm in it with you. Like, literally full throttle. Like, I'm in it with you. I'm jumping on the other side. I'm in the passenger seat with my Stanley cup, drinking my water, minding my business. You drive, you good. Like, wherever we going, I'm with you. You know, like, it's hard, but it's worth it, because whatever is on the other side of that is going to push you to where God really wants you to go.
Right.
Us sitting in our comfort zone, it kind of keeps us stagnant, and we don't even realize it. It keeps us stagnant. And okay, maybe the bills are being paid, and maybe, you know, you're planting seeds there. But God has been telling me, you planted the seeds. You've done what I needed you to do here. I have more. And the past few weeks, I've been so frustrated. And somebody shared with me that sometimes God uses frustration as an indicator, like, okay, I'm going to get you so frustrated with this so you can move, because you weren't getting it. So now I'm going to get you to the point where things are happening and you're getting frustrated and you're feeling anxious and you're waking up like stressing going to work. Like, I was like, this ain't it. This ain't it. I don't know what's going to be next, but this certainly ain't it. Right. And my last day was Friday. And you know what else was a confirmation for me? I shared this with you. My manager said to me, oh, I didn't have a chance to get you a card, but I just want to share with you that, what did she say? You're going to be missed and you're a great asset to the company, blah, blah, blah. Now, granted, whatever, a card is a card. But the whole thing in that just showed me, number one, I'm just a number. Number two, I'm replaceable. And number three, you really had no intentions on getting a card. Like, you just said that to say it, which you didn't even have to. But it just showed me, like, I'm making the right move, because I am putting in my all into something that, number one, I don't own. Let's talk about it. Number two, I'm not getting the best out of it that I can be. Like, okay. And number three, I shouldn't be stressing over anything. No matter if it pays my bills or not. I should not be stressing somewhere 8 hours a day. Like, my father don't want that for me, and I don't want that for me. Like, I definitely deserve more. So anybody who's listening, if you know that it's time to go, move.
Okay, and quick.
Move.
And quick.
Because you don't know what's on the other side.
I wanted to put a pin in something that you said earlier. You said it's hard, but it's worth it. And so I think that is the biggest, when we talk about healing, when we're talking about transitioning, when we're talking about, I think the false narrative is that it's easy. Oh yeah, Queen, just get up and start journaling and talking to God and then it's all going to work out. Oh no, it doesn't work like that. It's very hard. This is hard work that we're talking about right now. Hard work, sweat, and a lot of tears, Queen. And it's not going to be easy. I think we need to just stop saying it. I think we need to pack it up and cancel that. Okay, it's not going to be easy at all. You have to decide that whatever it is that you're striving for, whether that's a healing journey, a relationship with God, that could be you trying to go maybe get a new degree. Maybe you are trying to get into the fitness, trying to get my body active. It's not going to be easy. It's not. I think when people hear that, then it's like, okay, they know what they're walking into. And I think that's a lot of times what discourages people. They think they're gonna go into this thing and it's gonna be easy, 1, 2, 3, and then it's gonna be good. No. And the first time you hit adversity doesn't mean you should quit. Maybe it means that's the wall this is the wall you were supposed to hit to get you to the other side. And I think we just need to understand that it's not going to be easy. Whatever it is, you don't have to be drastic like us and jump clean off the cliff. But even if you begin to tiptoe, you need to understand it's not going to be an easy walk. It's none of it is easy, but it's all worth it. It's all worth
it. So like she said with those roadblocks, those are tests. Those are not for you to be like, oh, well, I tried, I'm done. No, those are tests from God. Like he's like, all right, you really with me? Like, because this is only the beginning. I need to see if you really, really serious about this, because if you are, I'm with you until the end. But this will show me, so everything we do matters to the younger us, matters to the present us, and the future us.
Right.
So just looking at it that way, it'll kind of help you with everything, really. But in those moments when you hit those roadblocks and you want to give up, you're like, you know what? No, because I've came so far. You know what? No, because the younger me deserves to see me win. You know what? No, because I want financial freedom. So if you look at it that way, it'll kind of help you when you hit those roadblocks to say, you know what? God is with me. I cannot fail because God does not fail.
Right.
Simply put, I can't fail because he does not fail. He does not lie. He told me, I made you. I created you in your mother's womb before you even formed into a human being. I knew that you had a purpose, Cierra Heflin. I knew that you had a purpose, Brittany Heflin. So when you think about it that way, that he had so much intention on putting you on this earth for a reason, you're like, I can't give up. Because I know that God put me here for a reason. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that. If you hit those roadblocks, it's a test. It is not for you to get tripped up and say, oh, well, I tried. That's it. No, that's the enemy. That's the enemy. He's like, yeah, give up, get up. It's too hard. Just live your life. Keep doing your things your way. That's what he wants for us.
That's a lot of things.
Right.
Those are the thoughts that creep into the brain. It'll be so much easier because do I have to get on this? It'll be so much easier if I just walk out the gym. It'll be so much easier. It will be so much easier. But then what is on the other side of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you get from that? And so those are the things that we have to keep in mind. But I also want to pay homage to the younger version of all of us. There was a younger version of us who pushed us to be who we are right here in this moment. And then who we are here in this moment is going to push us to be another version of ourselves. So I just want to pay homage to the journey, because a lot of times the younger version of us, we weren't taught wrong. We were taught incomplete. It just we didn't have all that we thought we had. And even now, with the more knowledge and wisdom that we have gained, we still don't have all we need. We have all we need for right now, but it's like life is a forever growing. Like we said, it's a forever journey, and so along the way, you have to pick up your gems. And if you're moving too fast, you will mess up. So take this thing slow and understand that you have to pick up your gems. You have to pick up your things along the way because you need those tools in your tool belt for who it is that you're going to become. And I don't know. I think it's just very important to understand, like, there's a version of us that got us here, and to pay homage and to respect and to give grace to even that version, because there's certain things that we have to unlearn due to the version we were before. And that might be a little hard for us because, as I stated before, I'm only 23. I've been this way for 23 years. There's no way to be wrong. So, learn a new way and learn new methods to attack life. And so I think it's just very important. Grace is the biggest thing that we can give to ourselves. And just understanding, allowing ourselves to learn. Oh, wow, I thought this is how I've been doing it this way for so long. And allowing ourselves to learn and unlearn new things and new things again. And it's not going to be easy, queens and kings. It's just not.
And I think that is where a lot of people get tripped up and confused, because no shade to anybody, but some churches make it seem like, yep, you follow God, you follow Christ, he's going to bless you, everything's perfect. Absolutely not. The total opposite. Like, yes, when you give him your all, he will make you whole. But that is, like you said, unlearning all those things that you've been doing all these years and learning how to align your will with his. That is hard work and it takes time. So when people are like, man, I've been going to church every Sunday, I've been praying, and he don't hear me, man, F this, I'm done with it.
Right.
Some people have that attitude. I have had conversations with people and they're like, nah, it's just not for me, you know, he ain't listening. And it's like, but change your heart posture, because maybe he is listening, but it's just not happening right now.
Yeah.
People just get this idea that he's just supposed to, well, I prayed about it last night, so tomorrow by 12 o'clock, I need to see this happening. It does not happen that way. Like, it is his plan at the end of the day. So who are we to rush him on his plan? Like, it's his plan.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the statement I made earlier where we can't put our friends and loved ones in positions they're not prepared for, but God is also. He's not going to put you in a position, no matter how much you pray, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Not ready.
And if you feel as though you're in a place where it's like, oh man, I've been praying about this thing, I've been working towards it, I've put my faith on it, you know, I've been tired, I'm doing all the things. And I feel like we have to take a minute and say, okay, God, clearly my will is not what your will is. And so can you help me get back on alignment? Help me see it your way, your will, your way, you know? And that's a prayer that I have to say sometimes. Because again, I think me being so routine driven in the past, it's like, God, I'm doing the things. Don't you see me? Look at the checklist. Can't you see? I'm doing the things. I'm doing the affirmations. I'm saying, where is the God? Where is
what's
the
happening?
grace? And things are happening back to back to back. And it's like, God, did you see the checklist? And it's like, God, who? Then we have to understand, where is the pressure again? Where is that coming from? Who told you that you needed that checklist, Queen?
Yeah.
Nobody said that you needed that to A does not. You don't need A plus B. That's our way. That's that's human.
And his thoughts are not like our thoughts.
Yeah, his thoughts are not like our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. So he doesn't have to have A plus B. God can go from A to Z, and it's all gonna work out because it's still his way. And so I think we just have to really understand that, like, our plan is necessary. Yes, that's true. But we also have to be able simultaneously to allow God to have his way with us, because it's way bigger than we could ever imagine. Way bigger. Because me being here, if you would have told me August 2023, if you would have told me on August 1st that on August 28th, I was going to be in South Carolina, I would have been like, you're losing your mind.
Right, yeah.
It's way bigger than we could ever imagine. We just have to trust his plan.
Gotta trust his plan. This was so good. Before we go, I do have one last question for you.
Okay.
So, it's almost been a year since you've been on your own. You've had this beautiful journey of healing, a continuous journey of healing. You know, you're meeting new people, you've made new friends, made new connections, things like that. Are you happy? Are you in a place where you feel like you're at peace? You know, you're happy, you're waking up. Obviously, not every day. Some days are better than others, but you're waking up like, yes, I'm happy to be here. Like, do you feel like you're happy? And if so, how have you maintained that happiness throughout the journey?
Yeah, I feel like I am at a place of wholeness. And so being at a place of wholeness then generates a place of happiness. And I say that because happiness is a feeling. And so I might feel happy for 2 months, and then the next 3 months, I might not be as happy. And so, no, but I know that here I feel whole. And 24, me being here for a year feels like when you've been running and you finally get a chance to sit down and you just sit there, you like, whew, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I've done it. I've ran my race. I'm still running. You know, this is just my moment of taking that deep breath. But I feel whole. I feel whole, and I'm excited to see what a whole, complete version of myself can accomplish. Because I know I still have a long way to go. But for me, turning 24, I feel like I've done the things. I've done the things, and I'm open to doing so much more. I'm open to taking it in. Please enhance me. Let me know something. You know what I mean? I'm here. I've arrived. I don't know. I feel it feels good. It feels good. It feels good. It feels good. And I think I've been able to maintain that by understanding that I can't do it by myself. And even if I don't get it all done today, if I put 20 things on the checklist, if I call Bob, Jane, Jill, and Joe, and they don't have the answers, I think I'm understanding that, like, I need my village, but most of all, I need God. I can't do this thing by myself. And I don't want to have to figure it out by myself.
No.
Please. I'm not a strongest soldier. I don't want to have to figure it out by myself. And so I think I'm learning. I think when we are learning self love, I think we also have to learn how to be loved and learn how to love others the way they need to be loved. And so all of that just has created a sense of wholeness and a sense of humanity. And so where I think because I'm giving myself grace and I see myself different, I'm able to see the world different. I'm able to understand, like, yeah, maybe this happened, but let's just try to dissect that a little. You know, before we get mad and get pissed, let's really understand what's going on. And so I think I'm at a place of wholeness for sure. And then I think your second part was how do you maintain it? I think the maintenance comes with perspective. I think we have to have the perspective that like I said, you might be happy for 3 months straight, just straight bliss. Oh God, I'm happy to be here. I've made it, I've arrived, life is good. And then one thing can happen. Or maybe
shift your whole
and it'll shift your whole perspective. So I think going into this next chapter of my life, understanding like the things are gonna happen. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. It's always gonna be roses and everything like that, but it's not always going to be thorns either. So I think just allowing myself to know that both can be true. I was such a black and white. It's either this or it's either that. It can't be. There's no way. And so I've shifted my perspective to see that no, sometimes it is both. Maybe I had a great day, but something at work pissed me off, but my day is still great, Queen. You may be mad for about 30 minutes. I don't understand it. It's not making sense, but I think this is over. That was the 30, and I can't get that 30 back. And so I'm just allowing myself, even with months, that maybe it was 30 days where I was just down. But now these next 30, I'm on a different type of mission. And so I think I'm just learning life, really. I think I'm just learning how to, what feeds me also. Like, I'm a podcast girly. I need to hear a good word in the morning. Whether that's a good sermon, whether that's a good song, whether that's a good pod, it doesn't. I need to get it early in the morning. I need to feed myself first because, like I said, I have a job to service others all the time.
Right.
Sometimes the gym doesn't cut it because I go in the gym and I pick up the 50 pounds that I could pick up last week and I couldn't pick it up this week, and now I'm discouraged. Now I need to fill myself up, and so I think just learning that like our plan is important, yes, but God's is way more because He knows what we don't know, He hears what we don't hear, and He sees what we don't see. And I think that's just really been helping me along the way. That like I'm not gonna have it all figured out, and that is okay.
That's okay.
That is okay. You don't have to. I didn't have to move here and get the couch and the bed frame and all the things. It's okay. You did, you know? And so I think I'm just learning to give myself the grace. It's okay to not do nothing today, and that's all right. And even and those are the hardest days for me, believe it or not, folks. Like it's like I'm off work. My checklist is checked off. I've done things. I'm still sitting. Maybe I can do. You know what? Let me put it in my leg. You know. I think I'm learning how to take a rest. I'm learning to take a breath, and because I take a breath doesn't mean that I'm stopped running a race or that I'm giving up. And I think that it's a survival tactic. You know, where it's like, oh, I gotta keep pushing. I gotta keep going. If I stop now, I might miss. You know, anything that's for you won't miss you. You can't miss your mark. It's not. It's not a God's ideology. You know, that's our way. That you'll miss your mark if you don't go to school at this time, and if you take a break. Oh no, you know what I mean? It's just like who was creating these? Who was making these rules up? So, I don't know. I'm just learning. I think 24 is really going to be a different thing for me. 24 is the rebrand because it's like I'm not in control of this thing, and I'm finally accepting that I'm not in control of this thing right here called life. And as much as I want to make the plan and do this and follow, I'm not in control here. So I hope I answered the question. I said a lot of
You did. No, you definitely No, you definitely did. And I love all of this for you. I really, really do. I really do. I do. Like we're miles away from each other, but we still talk every day. Lots of miles, but we still talk every day. FaceTime every day. And I'm really proud of you. And I just love seeing happiness on you. Happiness looks really, really good on you.
I received that. I said that. Oh, I put that on one of my Instagram posts. Happiness looks great. I love Happy Me. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. It's a
beautiful thing. So I really love it. Keep going, girl. Keep going. So I want you to, you shared a lot of gems, but just to wrap it all up, share something with somebody who is watching or listening, who's in a phase where they're happy, they're whole, but they still feel some type of doubt or fear or like I'm not complete in this area. Like what's one gem that you can share with them?
the journey is a journey and it's not a destination. I think that's the biggest thing that my therapist always tells me. And one thing that I have to take with me, it's about the journey. It's not about the destination. And
Yeah.
so maybe you're not. It might be true that you could be, let's say that it's I don't know how you explain. Let's say your whatever your wholeness looks like is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It might be true that you are at 99 and that one thing is making you feel like you're at 20. But no, I think you take a step back and look at the 99. Look at the 99. Look at the journey. I saw something the other day that said, let me not butcher it. Oh, it said that achievement does not equal fulfillment, which means like you could be getting a lot of things done, but you're not doing a lot of anything. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think
was that in Sarah Jakes? Was that in Power Moves?
That wasn't Power Moves.
I think she said something like that though, because I read her
in the beginning of the book. Yeah, something similar. But just because you're checking these things off, maybe you're going to school, maybe you got the job, maybe you got the car, but you don't feel fulfilled. But that is okay, because now that you got those things done, it's time for you to figure out, well, what is going to fulfill me? Maybe it's trying a new recipe every month. Maybe it's something as simple as reading a new book. Like, you have to try and give life a chance to see what it is that you're interested in and that can fulfill you. And so if it's anything that I can leave with the people, is that it's a journey, not a destination. And at each stage of the journey, it's going to look different. It's going to feel different. Some days, like I said, you might be 3 months. Life is cool. I'm happy to be here. And then something happens, or maybe a lot of things happen, and you're like, oh no, God, what happened? When did I get on the strongest soldiers list? You know? And so it's a journey in every aspect, whether that's fitness, whether that's school, whether that's motherhood, whether that's self-development, spiritual. It's so many things that make us who we are. There's a lot of things that go into who we are and who we're going to become. And so you have to give yourself grace. You're not going to have it all figured out today, tomorrow, or next month, or next year. And that's okay. And that's another thing I want to leave with the people. Where you are is exactly where you need to be. And that's okay. And it's okay. And the rules, they're not real. Who made them up?
No.
Who is making these rules that you must do this and you must have it this way and it must happen this way first? And then who's making up these rules? And then the people that are telling you these things, ask them to take a moment to reflect and look at their life, and so that they can give you a little more grace as well. But it's a journey. It's a journey, you know? And so I think that's the biggest thing that we all should look at in any aspect of our life. There's room to grow. There's always going to be a little bit of room to get way better at what it is that you're doing. But I think it's important to recognize just how far you've come. And sometimes that doesn't always feel good, because maybe you haven't to what you deem as far. But use that little bit that you took to just go a little bit further. A little bit further after that. And before you know it, you'll be so far gone.
And sometimes, just to finish it off, like, those tough journeys lead to beautiful destinations.
Yeah.
And that beautiful destination right now is where you currently are right now. Everything that you have been through has led you up to right now. And like she said, it might not feel like a good right now, but just trust that it is going to become good. Just trust it, have faith, and just keep going. Don't ever give up. Keep going. We don't lose. We only learn. Okay?
And I heard a quote earlier. Oh my God, I want to go get my quote. Oh, I love, oh my God, I love this quote. I believe he said, Inky Johnson said this. I believe he said, it is a blessing to learn, even if pain is your teacher. And so that's something that's really, really good, because the pain is going to come. That's promise.
It's going to come.
It's promise. And so I think we have to just look at everything. Like you said, we don't lose, we learn. And even if we have to learn through pain, we are learning a lesson here. And so, that's just what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Oh, this was so good. I am so happy to see so much growth from the last time we spoke. And for those who saw the episode, and if you didn't, go back and watch it. It was last year in November. This is episode, I think, 40. I think that was episode 14, if I'm not wrong.
We can actually leave the link to that episode in the bio.
Yeah. Yeah, but you guys should go back and watch it if you didn't, because look at the beauty. I'm not going to cry. But I am so proud of you, and I just... happiness looks good on you. Happiness looks really good on you. And we're just going to leave it there. Is there anything that you want to share? Your social, your TikTok, Instagram, whatever, so that people can keep up to date with you?
as much as the people want me to be a TikTok girly, I'm just not made for it. I'm not made for it. But if you will, you guys are free to follow me at Instagram at _ it's Cierra C. And you guys, you'll see me in the gym. You'll see me dropping a good quote here and there. And I'm just a good time. And so, feel free to follow me there. But I look forward to the Go Get Her episodes, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yes. So, guys, on that note, we will end it here. I will definitely put her Instagram in the description. I'll also put the episode from the last time that we spoke in the description as well. So, if you want to go back and watch that, you can.
Oh,
but
I have
thank
one
you
more
so
thing.
much. Oh, yes, go ahead.
One more thing. If you're not an Instagram, TikTok, or any of those type of girlies or kings, because I know some kings watch this, kings and queens, please feel free to join us on, is it Band London? Join our
Oh, yes. Yes.
It's space for us to connect, because maybe the socials is not necessarily your thing. We're reading right now. Join us. Share what you're taking away from the book. Share how the book is inspiring your life, helping your life, because maybe that's what we need to inspire us.
Yep.
Please feel free to connect with both of us there on that platform. It is good. It is great, and I can't wait to see you there.
Yes, and literally the book club started because of a random video I made.
Right.
Like, I did not know it was going to be a thing. Like, I made a video. I was like, I want to do this. Who's down? And now I have a whole book club. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'll put the link for that as well. Thank you for reminding me about that. But yes, guys, we will see you. Well, not we. Hi. Or maybe we want you back. I don't know. Don't mind us, guys. We're very, very silly, and you don't want to know how many takes it took us to get this started, because we just kept laughing. But we did it, girl. We did it.
Right.
But I will see you guys next week. Bye.